Clients quickly make impressions after they join your program, especially if they pay you large amounts of money. So the first 12 weeks are literally make or break in regards to if the client will stay on, they'll ask for a refund, or they'll just literally leave your program. That's why we build the client journey tracker for all clients that come on board, so they get perspective as to which week each client is in, where their drop-off rate is, and this essentially then allows them to handhold clients even more to make sure that their retention rate is even higher in the long term. Inside our platform, you'll notice that we have the opportunity sections, which are literally like virtual whiteboards. Inside here, we build numerous different boards to track certain things. For example, the client journey tracker. This is then set up so there's individual weeks based off what week the client is in. So imagine that the client pays, they automatically get onboarded, and they appear in the needing setup. Once they've then been set up and they are on board, they'll automatically move across week to week, week to week. This then essentially gives you perspective as to what week each client's in, and if they then drop off, you can understand where your churn rate is actually happening. You see, in business, it's pointless saying I'm losing clients if you're not understanding why you're losing clients and how you can fix it. So inside the platform, inside automation, we literally build the whole automation for all of the coaches, consultants, and course creators that come on board our platform. And inside here, we have a folder called client management, and inside here, we have all of the systems organized, really simple to follow, so that they're ready to use when you come on board. One of these folders is called the client journey tracker. This is then literally built out to move clients along week on week and even send out any appropriate communication that you want going out at certain intervals. You then don't need to touch this if you come on board, and what you'll then notice is we have one built out for each week. So a client comes on board week 1, they then move into week 2 to week 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, etc., all the way up to 12. And we can obviously build this out further if you need. This then gives you perspective which week each client's in, and it then also means that you can make sure that they're moving through to the next week and not going to churn before the end of their program. For example, if they come on board and they pay for 90 days, you want to make sure that as they're getting towards 90 days, they're ready to potentially re-sign or upsell into a different product or service, so that you can make sure that you're not having to just constantly rely on new traffic and leads, but you make sure that your current clients are continuing to stay longer and their LTV is as high as possible. And the cool thing with this is the automation is ridiculously simple. When a client moves into a certain week, for example, week 1, we wait 7 days and then we move them to week 2. We then have this built out for every single week. And if we wanted to, we can add additional steps down here to add additional communication so that it sends out at certain weeks, so that you know that when they get to week 7, they get a certain piece of communication about this certain part of your program. That can come as a WhatsApp, a text, or even an email. And the cool thing with the platform is it's so simple to use. So for example, this trigger at the top, which starts the automation, is set up so that when someone's moved in the pipeline client journey tracker to the stage week 1, it then literally triggers. It's so simple to use, it's literally click, drag and drop. We then have a wait step, which is again, drag and drop. We select the days and the number of days. This then makes the automation wait for that period of time before it then moves on to the next step in the automation. And then this next step in the automation, we update the client on the journey tracker board into a certain week with their name, so that then they move along. This then triggers the next automation, which here is week 2, wait 7 days, moves them into week 3. But one of the best parts about this is it's then easy to see clients that leave. A lot of businesses make the mistake of constantly just thinking that they need to get new traffic and new leads into their business, when in reality there's a lot of money sat left in clients that have potentially left. A client might leave you, but it won't mean that they'll never come back again as long as you've given them a good service. So we want all of your clients lined up in this client left column, and we want systems in place to constantly keep nurturing them, so eventually they then come back in as a paying client. So we then have this ecosystem of getting clients in, clients will stay longer, and if they do drop off, we then have a system to get them back in down the line.